Hello everyone and welcome back to Acne Beautiful with Morgan Elizabeth. So hopefully some of you or all of you had a chance to listen to the last video. It was a lot of fun. I think all of the videos are fun for me and hopefully fun for you guys as well and informative, and provide a sense of community and a safe space to open up about how acne has affected your life. So today I am going to talk a little bit about a concept called reality transurfing by Vadim Zealand. Now, it's become super popular right now, and a lot of people are talking about transurfing on a whole. What I like about some of the things that Vadim Zealand has to say is that they're not particularly different from a lot of the things we've heard from other energetic sources in the past, whether it's a meditation teacher, a yoga teacher, a metaphysical teacher, quantum physics, etc., etc. There are so many different overlapping layers. I mean, even some fiction books, and I'm going to reference a quote at the end of this from a fiction book that my boyfriend and I are reading right now that is really beautiful and totally picks up on the same concepts that Vadim Zealand is talking about. Now, as you know, I think it's truly important to constantly remind ourselves of the energetic components and qualities of healing the skin from within, so that anything you do throughout the rest of your day, whether it's something through your nutrition, something you're eating, a supplement you're taking, exercise that you're engaging in, an herb that you're enjoying, maybe it's in a tea form or a supplement too, or a topical product that you're using. These sort of icing on the cake elements can have a whole lot more vibrancy and a bigger effect on your skin when you have your energetic nervous system sort of like balanced, in check. Not just the nervous system, but your nervous system, but also your mind, your mindset, and your heart. So it's the heart and mind coherence. I'm a huge fan of expanding my spiritual journey all of the time, and I do feel that in some regards, some of the concepts of reality transurfing have kind of like, it's like a culmination of, is bringing together a lot of the different people that I've studied in the past in a really coherent way that I just think is kind of amazing. So I am going to basically read a bit of like a little chunk, a little quote from Vadim Zealand's reality transurfing, and then talk about it in regards to acne and clearing your skin from within. So I talk about the mirror in a one-dimensional sense, looking in the mirror at the face reflected back to you, the face of acne. And do you like what you see? Do you not like what you see? How do you change what you see? Look into your own eyes, identify with your heart, tell yourself that you love yourself. As Louise Hay says, the metaphysical element of acne is a dislike, a fundamental dislike of some part of the self. If you don't like the word dislike, it was a huge trigger for me for a long time, and a lack of acceptance of some part of the self, also okay. Now, Vadim Zealand talks about the mirror in a different sense. We're talking about a three-dimensional mirror. And we have talked many, many times already in Acne Beautiful about the limiting beliefs, how they're created, our mental images, our perspectives, and how those are projected out into our world, and that reality, that mirror, reflects those images right back to us and helps shape and create the world that we live in, our day-to-day lives, the reality that we see, feel, touch, experience, how we see ourselves, and how others interact with us as well. So we're going to keep this three-dimensional mirror in our mind's eye as we talk about Vadim Zealand and how to utilize his concepts in regards to creating the best version, the healthiest version of our skin, right? So it's important to remember that we need to create the relationship first. We need to create the relationship that we want to have with the clear version, the clearest version of our skin first, through our heart and our mind, through the coherence, which means they are acting together through the coherence of our heart and our minds. Because if these two things aren't in a coherent state, unfortunately, the more dominant of the two emotions, which is more likely than not, the older emotions of the limiting beliefs about yourself, that one will become more dominant and play out. Now, if you don't understand what that all means, just go back to the video from the other day, because that's what I talk about in that video to a large extent. So by creating the relationship first that we want to have going forward with the clearest version of our skin, we need to do a couple of things. We need to remember, when we're looking in this one-dimensional mirror, to maybe first just only give ourselves a glance. Focus on your eyes and not on the aspects of your skin that you do not like. Don't focus on the parts of your skin that are breaking out. Focus on the parts of your skin that look good. Focus on your eyes. Focus on your lips. Focus on your eyebrows. Focus on something different, and don't spend a lot of time staring into the one-dimensional mirror unless you're staring into your own eyes and telling yourself how much you love yourself. Okay, so we've got our three-dimensional mirror now coming into play. Now, this is what Zealand says about the three-dimensional mirror, which is our reality reflected back to us. Our perceptions, our thought images, projected out into this mirror and projected back to us as our current state of reality. So here we go, the three-dimensional mirror, Vadim Zealand. You must constantly remind yourself that the mirror, the three-dimensional mirror, works with a delay. This is so important, and we're going to talk about this. And requires a certain pause whilst it puts the reflection together, that is, whilst the image that you want materializes into a physical reality. From the time the pause lasts, you have to stick to your guns and believe or trust, have faith in the success of what you want. When it seems like everything is going down the pan or down the drain. The quote I'm going to give you guys at the end of this will make you think of that part right there. Now, the quote I'm going to give you guys at the end of this is from that book I mentioned in the beginning, the fiction book that my partner and I are reading, which is actually The Alchemist. I'll just tell you now, The Alchemist by Paul. I don't even know how to say his last name correctly. Paul Coelho. I probably should have checked that first in terms of the pronunciation. But The Alchemist, one of the best-selling books in the world today, and for some time now. Okay, so what is it about that little passage that's so important? Again, let's remind ourselves. So he talks about the three-dimensional mirror having a delay, and what it is that you're trying to project or visualize out. So this idea of visualizing and creating the reality that you want. You have to remember, according to Zealand, that this three-dimensional mirror, it's not instantaneous and it has a delay. And whilst it works to materialize the image that you are projecting out, you have to persist, you have to persevere with your own sense of faith and trust in that process. Because right when you feel like things are just not working is exactly when you get what you want. You have to push past that moment where it feels like I'm trying, how much harder can I try? It's just not working. And only then can you have that upward swing. Yeah, just like when you have a really shitty mood and you're at like the depths of despair and you feel like, how can I get any worse? And I'm trying really hard. It's only when you've reached those depths then you start to like come around the corner on the upswing and you're like, wow, I feel it breaking now. And it doesn't mean you're not like working hard to try and change your mood. You might be doing all of the great things that you know are healthy and good for your body to change your mood or your state, and they just feel like they're not working. They are working. This reflection from the 3D mirror takes time to materialize, so you have to be patient with it too. So this is super important when it comes to acne, because acne, for one thing, we're looking in the mirror. We're looking in the one-dimensional mirror. Okay, we're seeing it all of the time, and we're seeing it reflected back to us, not just by ourselves, but by the way that we view how like the rest of the world views us. It's not something that's easy to hide. You go out into the world, you go out into public, and your face is out there, you know. So depending on how you feel about it, even if it's not a big deal to you, it's still probably in your general state of awareness. Now, acne can be very stubborn. It can be tricky. It can keep you on your toes, and you have to keep it on its toes because it gets used to things pretty quickly too. So there alone, we have some elements of trusting in the process, having that faith, and remembering that as you are working on changing your own ideas and images about yourself, which is fundamental to everything else that you would do to heal your skin from within, like the nutritional stuff, supplements, herbs, topical things, those all work better when you are constantly reinforcing and working on changing your internal vision of yourself and your skin and how you see yourself in your skin. And that plays into this concept of trusting, right, that this three-dimensional mirror takes time. It takes time and patience to materialize that new image of yourself and reflect it back to you. Now, another thing with acne is that you can tend to get to a point where you have like cleared a bunch and then you plateau. Same thing. So you still have to remember that when you get to this next level, this plateau, that there is still another level or layer of this onion to peel, where you're going to learn another thing about yourself. You're going to, learn to love and accept another part of yourself. and you're going to work on visualizing and projecting that image of yourself into this mirror so that it can be reflected back to you in your reality. Okay, so here's another crucial element that Zealand says: what you eventually receive back from that mirror depends on how courageous you are, how much courage you put forth. Now, I like to think of the courage as simply your perseverance. Now, we can take all of these energetic components right out of the picture at this point and just talk about, it's 4:44 p.m. 4:44. Just talk about how some people in the world, like, they may have no spiritual component whatsoever to their mindsets. They're still doing this. They're doing this because maybe they're just so full of perseverance, nothing is going to stand in the way of their goals. It doesn't matter what the heck comes at them, doesn't matter how many times they fail or flail, they keep on getting up and they keep on going, and they don't pay a lot of importance to the things that are coming at them from the external world. The way that other people interpret them, look at them, see them, judge them, they don't care. They have a goal and there's nothing getting in the way of them and that goal. So that level of perseverance, that drive, you don't have to be spiritual at all. You don't have to be religious. You don't have to believe in energy, nothing. You can just have that quality alone and you are doing this. It's the same thing, in my opinion, just with a different, take on it. And maybe some things work better or less better. I don't even know. I don't even want to go down that road, but it's, you can look at it from many different angles. Okay, so it's really for everyone. It's a human thing. This is life. This is humanity. This is the universe. We're talking about who we are, what we're capable of, and how we can do it right here, right now. So that courage, that perseverance, that comes into effect right when you are at the point of despondency, when things aren't working. It's not giving in to the despondency. And that's what people who persevere, that's what they do. They do not give in. They do not give up. It doesn't matter how many times they fall down. They don't give in to the despondency. Now that is the true magic of it all. It's not some magic wand, some magic pill, pray all day, meditate all day. Those things help. They help us get into the states, the mindsets, the awareness that we need to be in to persevere, okay? Because otherwise, the old crappy limiting beliefs can come back in and take over. Now, those people who don't pay any attention to the limiting beliefs, no matter what the hell is coming at them, and they just persevere and keep on going, damn, good for you. But some of us still have to deal with the sense of despondency when it comes in, and we want to remember that getting past that point, moving past it, believing, having the faith, having that trust in those moments, that is where the true magic happens. It's in this place where you can move past the so-called hurdles in life. And that is, I think, what so much of what life is about, okay? We're here to learn these lessons, to become better versions of ourselves, to become stronger souls. And maybe it's to do these things. So if acne is something that you're dealing with, if acne is part of your soul's journey, your soul lesson, what is the lesson in it for you? You can have that clear skin. You can have it, baby. Just what is it that you want to gain from it? What is it that you're going to learn from it? And how are you going to take that forward into the clearest version of your skin in your life? So So there's the magic. So next, okay, so when we're in that place of, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Okay, and this is common. If you don't believe something, but you want to believe it, you want to like it, you want to believe it, but you don't really believe it, well, that's okay. Zealand says, it's okay, because all you need to do, and I've said this before many times, all you need to do is practice. Practice that awareness, getting into that state of awareness through getting into the flow, getting into that flow state of consciousness, whether it's through your meditation, through your artwork, through your running, through your music, getting into that flow state, whatever it is that brings you that innate joy, the who you are, the pearl of your essence. That is when you need to practice your thoughts, your new thoughts over and over, get yourself into those meditative states, go into those dreamy states, do your meditations, be in the flow, enjoy yourself, look in the mirror, tell yourself you love yourself. This is when you will slowly start to see changes. And it's when you have those slow but steady changes start to occur that your belief will then catch up to everything else. And then you start to believe in what you're seeing. So we want to have the belief, maybe we don't have the belief, but we want to have the belief, and we go forward anyway with confidence, with perseverance, with courage, with trust, with faith. We start to see changes slowly, and then the belief becomes stronger. I think that's cool. Okay, so now when we don't believe something, why is that? Why is that? Is it because the world we live in tells us that things should be hard, that answers are complex, that we have to work really hard and search really hard for a complex solution to a problem? I think it has a little something to do with that. So let's say, your acne has just been persisting for years and years and years, okay? And every time you work on visualizing your new self and you try a new product from the dermatologist or a new product from somewhere else that you saw, and it doesn't work, and you give up, you give in before you get to see results materialize from that 3D mirror image back to you in your new reality, well, it just reinforces in yourself this idea of, well, it's just not working. It's not going to work for me. This is who I am. It's always going to be this way for me. And we get stuck in that mindset of things have to be hard and it must be complex. It's just too complex. The solution is too complex. But remember that simplest is best, and nature always takes that path of least resistance too. So we're going to keep on using this as we tread forward here. So remember, again, right, the mirror has a delay. As Zealand says, the mirror has a delay. So at this point, you want to pay no attention at all to the delayed reflection. And this is where that first statement comes into effect again. So cultivate that relationship with what it is that you want to see, and don't spend too much time focusing on the image you see now or the image that you see reflected back to yourself from other people in the world, or that image that you think you see reflected back to yourself from other people in the world. Because reality is not instant. And we didn't get to where we are today overnight. It took time. Things take time. The images, the limiting beliefs that we have about ourselves, they took time to develop as well. Our personalities took time to develop as well. So the next thing that Zealand talks about is a thought form. So in order for a thought form to become established as a reality, you have to methodically run it over and over again, right? So again, we have that delay in the mirror. We're going to have our faith. We're going to have our courage. We're going to have our trust. And by methodically running that thought form, the new thought form, with the emotion over and over and over again, we bypass, to an extent, our own lack of belief so that we can start to see some results, and then we can bring the belief into the picture. It naturally comes into the picture. So at this point, we have to remember that we have to, like, a little bit take control of our feelings. The feelings that keep us bound to our current reflection. Because remember, if your heart and your mind are not in coherence, the dominant of the two feelings is going to win. So if the dominant, if your one feeling is, I feel beautiful and I want this clear skin, but the dominant of the two feelings is this old limiting belief of I feel, I don't feel pretty and I will never have clear skin. Well, if that one is dominant, even though you're trying to will the other one into dominance, if that one's truly dominant because your heart and your mind are not in coherence, they're not working together, that dominant old one will still win out. I talked about this in the last video. So we're going to really practice taking control of the feelings in these moments, because it's those feelings that either keep us bound to the current reflection that we don't want, or the new reflection, the new feelings that we do want to see. So that is the essence of that relationship that you're trying to cultivate between yourself and the new mirror reflection. This is also the manner in which we become familiar with your own reality. So in doing this, you become managers of your own reality, creators of your own reality. And we've talked about this before. This is just a different spin, different words, different images, which is so great because I think it's super motivational because it just gives you another, it's like you're diving off of another diving board into a pool of possibilities. There's really like no end point. So great. Okay, so what does the mind see when it sees no result? What does the mind see when it sees no result? It's in these moments, and we already talked about this, but it really bears repeating. In these moments when your mind, and this is Zealand, when your mind is full of doubt, you have to activate your conscious awareness. Activate your conscious awareness. Remember how to get into that state of consciousness, being in that state of flow through your meditations, through something that makes you feel good, something that makes you identify with who you are at your core level. When you feel like your natural smile is just beaming, that's you connecting with you. That is you. You got to get your state into that state of consciousness in order to have that awareness, because you can remind yourself in that place that you have forgotten the rules. And what are the rules? Reality takes time. The mirror image needs to materialize. It's not going to be reflected back to you right away. This is going to help you get to that goal. What? Faster. Less delays, less backsliding, more perseverance. Okay, so here we've reached the end, and this is where I want to share with you the quote from the book, The Alchemist, because I think this quote truly fits in to exactly what Vadim Zealand is saying right here. So Paul Coelho says in his book, The Alchemist, which I highly recommend you read if you haven't, before a dream is realized, the soul of the world tests everything that was learned along the way. It does this not because it is evil, but so we can, in addition to realizing our dreams, master the lessons we've learned as we've moved toward them. That is the point at which most people give up. So that's from The Alchemist. So does it make sense as to why that quote jives with Vadim Zealand's reality transurfing? You have a goal. You want clear skin. You know you deserve clear skin. You've gotten to that point where you've accepted the fact that you are worthy of clear skin. Now you're trying to change the way you see yourself and the way the world's vision of you is reflected back to you. By changing your perceptions, your limiting beliefs, your mental images, by reflecting them into this three-dimensional mirror, watching them materialize and come back to you as your new reality. As you do all of this, and then you do your nutritional stuff and you have your supplements and your herbs and your topicals, which are all enhanced by doing this, we are tested along the way. Tested many, many times along the way, because that mirror image is not instantaneous. And we have to persevere through the moments of despondency when we feel like we've reached the bottom, and where the heck are we going? Are we even coming up to the other side? Yeah, we are coming up to the other side. So in doing this, we get to master, as the alchemist is saying here, master the lessons that we have learned so far, because they all need to be integrated into one for us to be the whole version of ourselves that we are here to be. So whatever your lessons are, you can really be the most authentic version of yourself and be a stronger person, be a stronger soul. It's only when we are moving toward that dream that is that point in which most people give up, because they feel like they've tried, and they're not seeing the results. Okay? You are about to see the results at this point. What's the moral of this story? Don't give up! Don't give up on yourself. You are so worth it. And whatever it is you're trying to achieve in your life, you've got this. I believe in you. Believe in you. Believe in yourself. It is probably one of the best gifts you can give to yourself. And here at Acne Beautiful, that clear skin is only a few more steps away than you can possibly imagine. We all have our journeys. We all have our own journeys, and they are our own journeys for the reasons that we have our own lessons. We're here to be the best versions of ourselves, stronger people, stronger souls. And why wouldn't we want that, right? Why wouldn't you want that? Just remember, it doesn't matter that much. What do you have to lose? If you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? There's no better time than now. I love you guys all so much. This stuff excites me more than anything. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what you're feeling. I want to know what you've tried. I want to know what's worked for you, what hasn't worked for you, why you think it hasn't worked for you, why it has worked for you. Please talk to me. Let me know. I know I'm talking about acne here. Not everyone has acne, but a lot of people have acne. So if you do know somebody with acne and you are listening to this but you don't have acne, then you're here for a reason too, because you can share this with somebody who does have acne. I think it's really fun. I think it's really cool. And I'm excited to share with you guys, I keep saying this, but part 4 of the endocrine system. Yeah, I'm getting back to those hormones. I just love the energetic stuff so much, and I think it's so important. So have a really good rest of your day, and bye for now.